And we are live.
And we are Violent Wrestling Podcast, VWP. It is Friday night. Things have happened this week, so we had to postpone um, half a Tuesday show and our Wednesday show to go tonight. Um, as always, I'm Mox, and with me, the one, the only, Ambrose Alley.
Hello, nurse.
Well, what you working with? Sorry. Hello, nurse. And Metal Matt just got off work. He should be joining us shortly. And um, I'm not. I don't even know this dude. He just randomly showed up because after tonight, I'm gonna try to distinguish myself from him. I'm assuming, Mr. Adam Rice.
I'm drunk, y'all.
I didn't want to say
Well, I'm not drunk yet, but let's see how the night goes.
it. We waited a little too long to start the podcast.
Indeed,
This should be a good one.
or at least an
Uh,
entertaining one.
watch it not be. Watch it not be either.
That is also a distinct possibility.
Yeah. I swear to fuck if I have to listen to you snore for 3 hours, I'm
Don't
out.
don't bring it on yourself already, because there's a distinct possibility it might happen.
So some good news and some not so good news from the VWP um, crew this week. Um, I'll start with the good news. Morris's surgeries went well Wednesday, hence why we didn't do a Wednesday podcast. I didn't sleep Tuesday or Wednesday, so I crashed by the time the podcast was supposed to start. But anyway, his surgeries went well. He fucking Superman that shit and came home the same day when they were saying it should be anywhere 3 to 5 days of rehab. He completed a week's worth of rehab in a few hours. They said he can do outpatient rehab instead of staying there so he can be home. So he came home Wednesday. He's home. He's with us. It's not out of the woods yet. We still having to do rehab and stuff, but he's in good spirits. The surgery again went successfully. Dude's kicking ass, taking names, or as the Brute Squad would say, kicking names and taking ass.
Huh?
Sir, sir,
That's what he said. I
I
know
know.
that's what he said, but yeah. So everything's Morse is home. Morse is doing well. Um, it's still he still has cast all the way up from his toes to his groin. So none of the woods yet, but he's home. So AA, did you want to, or do you want me to, or
Well, I just got news that they don't think my dad's going to make it through the weekend. So, maybe kind of quiet around here, folks.
we can't have that?
More so than normal.
No. Another reason we're doing this is, which kind of helps Rice being drunk, because usually he's not funny at all. Is trying
What?
to lift AA spirits up a little
What?
bit.
Wait, what?
Sir, I mean, just be honest with yourself.
Adam
You?
is so fun. Adam is too funny.
I loathe you all, except Atlee. Mostly you, Mox.
I was about to say, there's only two of us here. Like, um, just I was gonna um cancel, but I know doing podcasts and talking and stuff helps me through some tough times. So I thought it would also when I asked earlier and you said up to you guys. Um, like, yeah, because I know it helps me through some dark timelines and thought it might help you as well. So I swear to God, if that was another drink you just poured.
No, not yet.
Oh, notice he said the word yet.
And do you notice, like, he sounds, when he's been drinking, like, I'm from Texas. Like, you don't get any more southern, more country than Texas. I don't sound like it. When he's drinking, he sounds like he's from the deep south. Like, I'm drunk, y'all. Like, he sounds
I
like he's podcasting from horseback. Like,
it's a tick. I don't know. I've listened. I've listened. I've listened to way too much country music and watched way too many westerns in my time because I do it all the time.
but best wishes to UAA, your dad. Your dad's strong. Um, this isn't, and not to go behind the curtain too far, but this isn't the first time he's been in a predicament that he's pulled out of. So I'm
Yeah,
confident he'll do it again. So
he's never been this bad.
Um,
best of luck and all the love, of
Absolutely.
course, all the love sending your way. Now that Morse is home and fine, you're you and your dad are literally first and foremost in my mind. So all the love, all the positive vibes, everything we can send.
hmm Um, I will. I know this is a hard
You callous
transition.
motherfucker, you callous.
Well, we're going to have to transition here eventually.
That's why I said in the headquarters. I was like, I know I sound like a callous motherfucker here,
But but
but
let's give Allie a chance to do some talking. And Allie, we know this past week, I believe you went to the Rocky Mountain Pro Show.
no.
Actually, no, I didn't.
Okay, never mind. I'm a liar.
No, you're not. I was gonna go, but by the time I got done with all the paperwork with hospice and everything, taking care of Dad, I was just too drained to go.
All right. Did you have you had a chance to catch it? Or
No, I haven't catched it, but I'm actually watching their program from the Rack House right now.
oh,
But I am going tomorrow night.
cool. What are
No,
you?
Adam, the Rack House is not a titty bar.
See, I wasn't gonna. I hate you.
You were
Um,
thinking it. You were thinking it.
well, I'm always thinking it. I'm perpetually in the gutter. I mean, come on. But
What show are they doing on a Saturday? Oh shit.
Romero's.
Yeah.
They're doing Romero's, and Romero's has some of the greatest beers, microbrews you ever want to taste.
We might need to. Oh, you have to drive. I was gonna say we need to start doing like who's drunk this time, and tomorrow do another episode, and this time it's AA drunk, but like from the bar itself.
oh, good God, on location.
See, you get it live on location from not Titty Bar Rack House.
Jeez. So, what are you? What's on tap for the Saturday show, Allie?
I have no idea.
Well, all right. This is just off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, isn't it? But as I said, right now I'm watching the show from the Rack House because it's on
Well,
Twitch.
give us a play-by-play if you can. Of what
Okay.
you've seen so far.
Well, this match that's coming up is Porter versus Hunter Gray.
I like Hunter Gray. I've only seen a limited amount of them, but I like Hunter Gray.
And Porter used to be Vlad Balashov.
Yeah. I was wondering what happened there. Do you know the why they changed his name?
It had to do because the Triumphant turned on him.
Okay. He follows me on Twitter, by the way. He follows me, you, and VWP. Nice guy. Real. I know.
He's a
Not as quick.
proud papa. He is a proud papa.
That he is. I know that's not his persona on TV, but really good guy. Really good guy.
I got a cat walking all over me.
Meow. I started to make nope. Not making that joke. Not making that joke.
You know what you just triggered inside of my head?
What?
Mox with the little cat imitation. Am I the only one who remembers that that's exactly how Sable's theme music began?
Yes.
And now I need another drink.
Oh God, no! You need to slow down. Slow down, sir. At least make it 30 minutes. Where's
Have
Matt?
another drink.
What?
Have another drink.
Oh, I might. Most likely.
But the pop is warm.
Oh no, I've put ice in it now. It's perfect. I'm so happy.
How did Wing get the Hangouts link? How? Because you sound just like him. For those that don't know, two things real quick. Wing is a habitual drinks with ice, like on the rocks, as he tries to do a Sean Connery impersonation. And clink,
chicken
clink.
not stirred.
And Ryan's go ahead and fill them in on what you're drinking on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am having
I swear to fuck you say pop, I'm coming to I'm popping you in the face.
I'm having a Diet Mountain Dew with what's left of a fifth of Jameson and a little dab of Fireball for
Flavor?
more liquor. I can't even really say it to taste. I just wanted more liquor.
Liquor in the front, poker in the back.
Sir! I'm not drunk enough to where that's okay.
Well, at least he's not getting drunk in public.
No.
I was not in public. You threw me in public.
Arrest them.
I was getting drunk in the bar. I had the right to remain silent, but didn't have the ability.
They call me Tater Salad. Sir, are you Ron Tater Salad White?
That's me. You done caught the tater.
You can take down those roadblocks now.
I fucking love you guys so much.
See, they were stopping every vehicle traveling traveling down that particular sidewalk, and that's profiling. And profiling wrong.
I can't. Oh God, he's so damn funny. Oh God.
I got a T-shirt that says I had the right to remain silent, but didn't have the ability.
Oh God. Oh, you guys are awesome. Matt's chair is here, so that must mean Matt's coming in a minute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you sound tired, Matt.
A little bit. I didn't realize we were doing something tonight.
Well, we kind of talked about it on Wednesday. Don't you remember?
I don't remember 5 hours ago.
This is true.
I was like the only one that wasn't in that conversation. Oh my! You haven't missed much except Rice is drunk.
Yep.
And we were quoting Ron White.
Oh, I'm trying to wipe away tears because you guys. Man, I wasn't in public. You threw me in public.
In public.
God.
We squared off in the parking lot, and I backed down to the
Oh,
front
fuck.
because I didn't know how many. I don't know how many of them it would have taken to whip my ass, but I knew how many they were going to use. Handy piece of information right there.
you caught the tater.
I have those specials memorized,
You done caught the tater.
almost word for word.
And his son, Tater Tot.
Oh shit.
Or Poot.
Yes. God, I can't stand y'all.
Oh,
Oh.
my.
Oh. Oh.
Sasha got a new tattoo.
Ooh. What question are you supposed to ask when that gets brought up? Are you supposed to ask what of or where?
Ask whatever one feels right.
Where?
On the inside of her lip,
Oh. Okay. What of?
the
So
word
we just
protect.
The word what?
Protect.
What the?
Go look in the nightly. I know we had a plan, but the plan has totally disintegrated. So we're live and we're just talking.
Thank God, like I threw like rice you come over the toe net and you made it as generic as possible.
Yeah. So we could attempt to pick up where we left off on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Yeah, because Matt's got some rants. It's only fair to him.
Do we want to pick up from where we left off, or do we want Matt just to kind of go in a little bit here?
Let Matt go in a little bit.
Yeah, if you think I have a clue where the fuck we left off,
I
you
remember.
are sadly mistaken.
I remember. I mean, there isn't much to talk about, but we left off on
I've
the
slept maybe
squash.
5 hours since Tuesday, dude.
My God, Jameson is delicious.
Jenna or
sir, do I look like Tito Ortiz?
oh God, why? Well,
Well, there isn't,
kinda.
sir. Matt, was there? I know we did talk a little bit about the Becky Lynch and the Bailey stuff, and now that we've had a week of WWE television to kind of see where they might, where they want to go with it. What are your thoughts now on it?
Still stupid.
I knew that was coming. Did you want to elaborate, or do you want to leave it at that?
I don't know. I mean, I pretty much said all I needed to say there tonight. I mean, Mike Kiddo screwed over Becky Lynch. I mean, that's obvious. They should have kept it on her for another month. And then at Stomping Grounds, do the cash in, turn Bailey heel. That way, you have something noteworthy happen at Stomping Grounds, which is the first ever, pay per view. And then you can do all of that, and you can give Becky a couple months with titles, make them meaningful, make her run as Becky Two Belts meaningful. No, instead they did the dumbest thing they could possibly do. And so now Stomping Grounds is going to be yet another generic, forgettable pay-per-view. And now because of that, my expectations for that pay-per-view are rock bottom, or Uranagi, as it were.
Would you say your expectations are stumped to the ground?
Oh, God. I'm not
Hey,
drunk enough
indeed
to
they
are.
Hey, sometimes the script gets flipped.
Yeah. Okay, so we could kind of pick up
I
where we
mean,
left.
why not keep the title as one of the most over person in the company?
Is
Um,
she?
She is. I know she is.
I mean, the fact that she has been booked the way she has been over the course of the last few months, and it still gets consistently loud and great reactions, is a good sign because typically crowds, like Daniel Bryan likes to say, fans are fickle, and the, and if you think that's coming out of nowhere, people, I got news for you. It's not. Daniel Bryan knows exactly what he's doing when he says that because it's true.
but she sold
But,
out Dublin all by herself,
sir,
and then didn't draw shit for TV. Just saying. Just being honest.
well, that goes into is it? Well, hell, since we're already off the rails, um,
What rails?
exactly.
Yeah.
Can't be on rails if you never were on them in the first place. Um, is it possible?
Nope. I have no idea where you're going, but
Oh, well, is it possible for someone to be a draw anymore?
the brand's the draw.
Right. Well, and we've
I
had
mean,
that
it's
discussion.
possible, but they don't want it to be.
I want to say, even if they did, if they really went back to an old school way of pushing people, putting them in place, full court presses with the media and everything, would it even still be possible?
Um,
It would take a while.
it would take a whole lot of stars aligning for back in the Attitude Era of live events having signs of Stone Cold is not here posted on the front doors. It would take a whole lot of stars aligning for that kind of person to because that's a draw. That's I've said this before in the podcast. I remember going to shows with thank before you even got to the window to buy your tickets. You know, this is back in the day when you couldn't order like tickets online, or you could, but I didn't. And it would take just plastered all over the arena of Stone Cold is not here tonight, where people would show up like for Stone Cold. That's a draw. Stone Cold is the biggest draw ever in the history of this business. I don't care what anybody else says.
Stone Cold basically alone, not wrestling. And for those who haven't, aren't aware of it, I encourage everyone to go to YouTube and find the official Jim Cornette channel because this week they released an omnibus of a deep dive into Ohio Valley Wrestling, which was Cornette's promotion when he was working WWE's developmental,
Yeah.
and he told a story of how they did a basically a $50,000 or $60,000 house in the old Louisville Gardens, based
Oh
upon
wow.
based upon them being able to get Steve Austin to come down just for a segment, no
Yeah.
wrestling, and
Just
it
an
helped.
appearance.
Yeah, and it helped pop the house. That's how big Austin and Jim Cornette said he called up there, got Bruce Pritchard's phone number. He had it. Called him because he knew where Bruce was, probably in the cafeteria. And
Sir. Sir.
that's what he said. That's what he said. He said, "Hey, do you see Steve Austin?" He said, "Yes." And he said, "Ask him if Steve Austin would be willing to come down to Louisville on his day off for 25 grand and a paper bag and all the beer he can drink as a favor to Danny Davis." And Austin said yes.
Of course.
So, right. So, and Austin came down and did a segment with Rico Constantino.
Um,
Flashback for anybody there?
a little bit, a little bit.
And because in what they did in a lot of the one of the sponsors for the show, they put up life-size cardboard cutouts of Austin to promote the show, and people came in.
Yes, that's the
So,
definition of draw.
so let me ask you. Let's say WWE went back to the old territory developmental. They won't. It'll never happen. Could Becky Lynch do that?
Yes.
No, to a degree, yes, but an overall,
I don't even know
uh,
what the question was, but yes.
Could Becky Lynch, just based on, could Becky Lynch pop a small house for in any part of the country based on local promotion and name recognition alone?
I think she could. I know that the WWE house show that they did in Dublin sold out.
Well,
I,
let's also look at the circumstances.
I, I,
Becky was in her hometown.
Circumstances.
Sound like me now, and I've been drinking. It. And I'm going to say
no.
something. I don't think Roman Reigns could do it.
There's nobody currently positioned to do it,
I
and
don't
I
think
don't see anybody coming up the ranks that.
one
Uh,
person, one person could do it, and he would never do it, but one person. Brock.
Even then, that's lost its luster.
I think Brock could pop a building with promotion for people just to come see the former UFC, the guy who's been on ESPN to announce he was going to re-sign with WWE. Brock has some eye drawing power. Now I wouldn't.
Some, but he's not going to have a standing room only crowd in the middle of fucking nowhere in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we're talking about with draws. And like Matt said, could Becky do it? Yeah, it would take months and months of a focused push, not just on screen, which she's had, but an additional push towards media and talk shows and appearances. This week, Colbert did a segment, and in it, he showed the picture of Bryan Cranston of Breaking Bad fame, who was working Broadway during WrestleMania week.
Malcolm in the Middle fame, sir.
Oh, stop it. Sitting on Becky's lap,
Yes.
and they got the picture. That was probably the majority of that audience's first glimpse of Becky Lynch, the person, and they still probably wouldn't know that she's a wrestler.
Pretty girl. Pretty lady.
Thank you, Dozer. But we'll actually kind of turn into Money in the Bank a little bit because we really should cover this show. The match we actually left off on was the 10-second squash of Elias.
It was really disappointing. Like, these two could have had a great match. But unfortunately,
wanna talk
they
about a
decided
draw.
not to do that.
Elias is a draw.
Have they cooled on Elias? Okay, I'm gonna rephrase that. Have they?
And I know that they did a match on SmackDown, but you know what? Some back in my day, the pay-per-views were for having matches, not angles. You know what I'm saying?
I told
dear
you.
God,
I
what was
told
that?
you, but before we went on air, like there's two different kinds of sobriety, and
Did you have a stroke mid-sentence? I think I could.
AA, do you think Becky or anybody currently in the whole WWE system um could be a draw? There, you can't really it's not fair to say be a draw in the Stone Cold sense because that's just not fair. But
Well,
be
they
a
have
draw,
Becky, and
sir,
they also have certain tag team champions.
sir.
Sir,
AA, do you think there's anybody that could draw in comparison to some of the draws back in the day?
No, because they haven't built them up that way, like they were
Even
built
if
up in the days.
they tried, do you see, or the fans just that fickle?
Fans are that fickle and jaded.
and also think about the almost hypocrisy is the wrong word. Um, think of just about how amazing it is that with all the ways you can connect with stars, wrestlers today, between social media and other aspects of being able to connect with these people, they're no way in any way over than the people who came up before 20 years before them who didn't have those
Yeah,
advantages.
you had one chance, and that was going to see them live. That was your
Yep.
chance. You couldn't at Steve Austin BSR like, hey man, huge fan. Like you couldn't do that shit. It was either you go see them live or you start or find a fan club and write letters. Like that was were your two options.
So it's odd, really. Um,
Which is why I don't think it's possible in today's age.
it would take a whole overhaul of how they currently conduct business.
Industry
Um,
wide, not just WWE. Industry
yes,
wide.
industry wide. Um, it also it's just hard. And I was
Sir,
going to
that
ask
might
a
be the
quick.
liquor.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
uh, I wanted to ask a quick question about Elias. Has the company cooled on Elias, or have they decided he is properly suited for the mid card?
I neither. I think he's at the moment in a weird holding pattern, which happens. It's happened with Dean. It's happened with Seth. Happened with Rome, and he's in that weird holding pattern of like we know what we have, but we're not quite sure. Like we don't want to push you too soon because we've got this other stuff going on, but we want to still make sure that people remember you and you're relevant. Just even in losing a 10-second squash, like he still had a match, and I don't think they're cooling on him, but I don't think they're definitely saying, okay, you're mid card and you'll be nothing more. I think it's a holding pattern which they do more often than they should, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Um, anybody have any thoughts on a squash match here between Roman and Elias?
I think it was good.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't have a problem with it either. It seems like they're on their way to back to making Roman look like
Badass.
a badass.
Yes,
Um,
and that's kind of the point of the
mhm.
opposite end of your question of
This
uh,
wasn't about Elias. This was about Roman.
yeah, that and they haven't quote unquote Romans not being shoved down our throat, quote unquote, and I'm literally putting air quotes up because he's working his way back up, which that's what you would want him to do.
Yeah. Um, It's clear they're on their way back to making Roman a big a main eventer again. Um, put him back where he was. I think we're still months away from that being realized,
Which
because
we
it's
should
clear.
be.
Yes, um, but I think Money in the Bank was the first steps along that path. Um, the next match was easily the match of the night, um, match of the year candidate. Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. And yeah, hold on. Might be a delay a bit here, guys. But go ahead. Your thoughts
Yeah,
on
drink all the
Rollins?
Jameson again and see what happens.
Yeah, I know, right? Um, just go ahead and you guys give your thoughts on Rollins Styles.
Really good match.
Really good. Seeing Tyler Black versus AJ Styles way back in the day. They're much older now, but damn, can those two guys still go? Like neither one of them has in all these years really lost a step.
I'm gonna need you guys to kind of go a little bit more in depth. I have to do something real quick.
Good God.
Dead air, dead air, dead
Yeah.
air, dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air.
Hey, did you ever catch the Tyler Black, AJ Styles stuff back in Ring of Honor and other independents way
I
back in the
might
day?
have. Don't remember it, but I might have.
Oh, did you catch the highlights of this match?
Nope.
Of course not. It was a good match. It's AJ Styles and Seth Rollins, like they're. But when the match was announced, like, ooh, I remember, 15 years ago, 14 years ago, whatever. Yeah, I remember those matches. Those were good matches, and it's kind of like you were watching two people that haven't aged in 15 years having a wrestling match. Pretty solid. Couple of missed spots, but that goes like I guess throughout this whole pay-per-view. There's a lot of missteps. Shut up, Todd.
Yeah, we'll have more Todd over the course of the show now. I find it funny that in this show we easily had probably one of the best matches of the year, in Rollins and Styles, and one of the worst matches of the years in McMahon Miz, uh, all on the same show. So it's at least it
McMahon
balances
versus
out.
Miz was fantastic.
Oh, sir,
Lana
that's not
came
right.
up with the finish. It just was it was meant for her, which I'm not sure.
Uh,
Like, was she supposed to be the
yeah,
one topless or?
sir, sir. The next match was Kofi and Kevin Owens. This was also a good match. Not it had to follow Rollins Styles that night.
Yeah,
Um,
and that hurt it. Just to be honest, that hurt this match.
yeah, I
The,
mean they kind of. I mean it's kind of they got the death spot when I look at this
mm,
card because they had to follow Rollins Styles, which ended up being great, and then they had to go on before that men's ladder the Money in the Bank match, so they
ladder in
kind
the
of had to
bank.
make the
Ladder
best
in the bank.
ladder in the bank.
If there's any
Oh, I
bank robberies
love.
not in the Columbus area, we know who did it. He's got his ladder ready. Ladder in the bank.
I'm I love whiskey.
Oh god. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Yep. Um, and also after this match, something happened on social media. It happened over the course of the next couple of days, where people started saying that Kofi has been a mediocre champion. I don't know if I agree with that. Uh, guy's been. Oh god damn it. Um,
We can't hear him as much as
he.
you think we can. We can hear him, but
Oh,
he's
thank you.
not like overpowering the mic. Not yet.
He's overpower. He's overpowering my senses. Um, Kofi's been given very little so far since winning the belt. I think they were going to go into something a little better had Daniel Bryan not kind of gone on IR immediately after Mania. So that's kind
Yeah.
of caused some of the issue. But I think Kofi's been a perfectly fine champion.
You
I mean,
can't
he's
say
been
Kofi's
fine,
been.
but there's, I don't know, they haven't really given him a few that he can really sink his teeth in.
Yeah.
Guess who's coming out of Mania
And also,
in this situation? The work out of the two. Seth Rollins' title reign. You put Seth's Universal title reign up against Kofi's WWE title reign
About the
since
same.
Mania. And not just defenses, but Kofi's actually, not just defended it more, but has done a little more with it than Seth has with the Universal Championship.
Seth's reign. The thing with Seth is, and this happened when he was champion before. Seth's Seth doesn't draw you in.
Are you
He's a
trying to say he's
perfect
not a draw?
draw. Um, he's a great worker, even though he is sloppy at times. Um, but I Seth's white bread. He
Well,
just
that's.
he's,
No, I'm not gonna make that joke.
yeah. Please don't. Um, he just is. He does nothing. Seth's champion because with the belt. He's just I'm the best guy there is, and that's all there is to it. Blah. Yeah. When Roman was champion, he was out there laying claim and show put in positions to where he can look larger than life, and I don't think Seth has been able to do that, or even
Yeah,
my
and that goes to storytelling. Not just that they both became champion, but one was and Roman was the story. My yard. He's claiming his yard. Um, one was in Seth of Beast Slayer. Beast Slayer. I just want to conquer I just want to beat Brock. And that was the story. The story really wasn't for the Universal Championship. The story was Seth wanted to beat Brock.
yeah,
Just
and,
like
and
last
that
year, Seth wanted to beat Triple H, and be the Kingslayer.
and that and that doesn't make Seth interesting.
And
I
now he's the Manslayer, or
oh God, I can't believe you said that.
whatever you want to call him. But
Uh,
it's
oh
a
no, he's
base,
the man's man.
sir. That's even worse.
Now, the correct term is biggest heel in WWE at the moment.
That don't look like a heel to me, sir. That looks like one lucky son of a bitch.
Excuse me.
Did you want to say something, Moss?
Oh no, just coughing, just coughing.
Did Matt's chair want to say something?
Apparently,
Um, So Seth, Kofi's had the better title reign to me,
Yeah,
and I would like to see Seth step into something being other than I'm just here to beat whoever you put in front of me. Because eventually you can't attach the end word Slayer to everything. It that's
Slayer. Sorry,
Slayer is great.
heavy,
Slayer is
heavy, heavy metal band reference. Yeah,
yep. But this King Slayer, Beast Slayer, uh,
Manslayer. Say it.
I didn't
Say
want
it.
to say it, Manslayer. Although I've seen the pictures and I don't think he's slaying anything.
Well,
Um,
well, E for effort, sir.
E for effort, exactly. But there's no character development to that idea of
Yeah,
just being the guy who it's very final bossy.
yeah, exactly. And there, at least with the Kofi thing, there's something coming out of Mania of still to some degree of holy
This is our guy.
fuck,
Yeah.
Kofi won the WWE Championship, and I'm just gonna go and say it. Not only Kofi, but a black person, a person of color. And yes, there's the Rock discussion, and that's very valid, and I'm actually on that side of the fence. But for all the people that were on the other side of that fence, so Kofi Kingston is your WWE champion,
Hmm.
and if nothing else, that story has been better going into and coming out of WrestleMania versus the Brock, Seth. Um, I just want to slay the beast. Where Seth having the Universal Championship comes off more as, and this gets thrown around a lot. Seth having the UC title literally comes off more as a prop
Hmm.
than Kofi having the WWE Championship and being proud and like whole and people are behind it of holy shit,
Yeah.
like it happened.
Kofi still feels like, and sorry for the pun, the people's champion. Seth feels like the guy who beat the guy who we wanted to go away.
Yes,
Once that guy
and that
goes away, what does Seth have outside of?
Becky.
Yeah, I was going to say it. I was going to say it. Good job, Seth. Really, I'm sorry, Seth. And for as much as Seth is a good-looking man, he outkicked his coverage.
Oh,
Um,
big time.
and just to move on because I could actually dive in on that a little bit.
That's what. Nope, not gonna
Nope,
make that joke either.
too late.
Nope,
Too
nope.
late. We will go to the main event, which was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match for the
And here's
contract for the
where
world championship.
everything gets fucked the flying fuck up.
This
This
match
match
was,
was fantastic.
yeah, dudes were
Fan
dying.
fucking tastic until
Ricochet
the
took
last
some
30
insane
seconds.
bumps. Ricochet took some insane bumps. Finn Balor pretty much decided tonight I'm going to just die because why not? Um, Ali took bumps. You know, all these guys went on there and just killed it. Killed it.
Have you seen
Uh,
Casey Hard Eyes watching the match? Have you seen that clip?
yeah, Casey looked like she was on puke.
Yeah.
Casey was. I can imagine that phone call. What the fuck were you doing?
For those that don't know, Ricochet and Casey Catanzaro, who you can't say Casey without Hard Eyes, so Casey Hard Eyes and Ricochet are a item, and there's a video on YouTube and Twitter, I guess, of Casey watching the match and watching Ricochet going through all those outrageous, outlandish bombs, and Casey,
He did the broken ladder spot this year,
yes,
and
and
that was it. He didn't move. He did
he
not
was out.
factor in the finish at all. So the finish of the match, what we should say is that earlier in the day, there was a backstage segment where Sami Zayn got taken out.
Poor Sam.
Um,
Yeah.
Sammy. So they needed a replacement, but there was no replacement when the match started. So the 7 guys just went out there and had the match. And
And you couldn't leave well enough alone, WWE. You
and
just couldn't leave it alone.
and as Mustafa Ali, yes, I'm going to use his first name here, as Ali started climbing the ladder, got to the top, was going to reach for the briefcase.
Turn it off, Daddy. Turn it off.
A familiar entrance music hits, and out comes Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. Lesnar is apparently Sammy's replacement. Brock comes down the ring, dispatches of the people who he needs to dispatch.
Including 2 cameramen.
Yep.
He hurt 2 cameramen and Ali with his bullshit coming to the ring.
Because that was necessary, apparently. Um, Brock climbs the ladder, takes the briefcase, and in the span of 30 seconds, Brock Lesnar became Mr. Money in the Bank.
And completely ruined this pay-per-view.
This pay-per-view was heading to be like an A pay-per-view. I have to knock it down to a B,
Yeah,
B minus.
I say completely ruined in a hyperbole kind of way because it didn't completely ruin it, but what the fuck?
Uh, all signs point to Brock challenging Seth
At Saudi Arabia.
in Saudi Arabia at the show we will not be covering. Because F that noise.
Somewhere Michael Cole's shoe is still in. I know, man. I know.
Guys, we have to deal with Brock Lesnar again.
Brock will sneer.
An absolutely stupid decision. This did not need to happen. It is a complete slap in the face, not only to the other people in that match, but to everyone else in the back.
I mean, it's a clear sign that Vince and the powers that be do not have 100% faith in the people who he's paying. To me, that's one of the biggest indictments of the current product. Because the
majority of the money is going to one fucking person.
Yeah. I think Brock's probably making, north of $15 million at this point?
And I know people got a blast out of Boombox Brock the next night. But
that was great.
And yes, it was, but it still doesn't make up for this fuckery. Like, it does. Yeah, I can appreciate good stuff when I see it, but it doesn't. It's like eating shit and then washing it down with piss. Like, you're glad the shit's out of your mouth, but you just drank piss to
change the world.
Oh no.
Oh God.
This is a cautionary tale. A boombox is not a toy.
Oh no.
This guy.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Glad people knew.
We went 5 different ways with Matt did Macho Man. I did Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Duffman is here.
Oh no.
Duffman saves the day.
I mean, if Brock wins, which is a distinct possibility, and we have to go another 5 to 8, 8-10 months with the Universal Champion off television again, why should anybody in that locker room care about what they're doing?
They shouldn't. I will say this much though. Brock hasn't missed a pay-per-view this year, and he hasn't missed. And supposedly he's supposed to be on Raw this Monday. Like, you can't say really like he's going to be absent because apparently nobody knows like what this new deal is about. Like,
I don't know either. And look, let me say this: Brock is more than welcome to make as much money as he wants. I'm not going to tell the man he can't make money, and I don't care how he makes money or where he makes money.
I mean, somebody's got to feed the puppies.
I can't believe you said that.
He's got dogs, sir.
Sir, you know what you did when
I'm
you said.
guessing. Yes, I do. I'm guessing he has dogs. He lives on a farm. I'm
In
assuming he has puppies.
No, he has baby elk because it's Canada.
Well, they are pretty big. Oh.
Stop. Um, he's also
And there was a time when they had antlers. Oh, those were hen prints. Sorry.
Oh, why?
Well, you know her. Once she starts dancing, she can't stop.
Please kill me.
You're doing a good enough job with the Jameson and Fireball yourself.
This is true. So this isn't about Brock wanting to come still work for WWE because it's really not. He's more than Vince is going to pay him, and he's well within his right. And I understand that he's also over 40, so a part-time schedule also makes sense. And here's the other thing, and I always like to steal ideas from other people.
No. Like the
As much
Brown steals players. But go
we
ahead.
don't steal, sir. They want to come here out of the goodness of their hearts.
We fucking know that's a lie.
Brock, whether we like it or not, still feels like an attraction.
Brock is the Todd of being VWP to WWE.
Yeah.
He's there. Nobody wants him to be there, but he's there.
But,
He's kind of loud. He takes over a little bit, but
yeah. But
Brock Lesnar is the nugget of WWE. Just when you think he's finally flushed and gone for good, it just keeps coming back up.
Don't die. Oh, now you made me sad because that was this week.
yes, that was just yesterday, as a matter of fact.
And Brock Lesnar is one semen, smoking, stinking, smelling turd. Oh, good Lord, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that.
I am not a nugget.
That's what your baseball team says.
God, what? Damn.
Wow. Ma'am. It's Brock is still.
Hey, what do you think about Brock being back? Like, period. Just what do you? Brock showed up and Beast in the Bank, whatever the fuck they're calling him. What do you think about Brock coming back? Talking about Brock put her to sleep.
She was just awake.
Yeah, I know. But I said Brock one too many times, and like you say Beetlejuice 3 times or No Place Like Home, and I said Brock 3 times, and she's out. Like the rest of the audience.
The thing with Brock is, for a lot of people, he's still an attraction. And as long as he's still an attraction, he's going to get these opportunities because by virtue of his schedule, him not being there all the time does make him feel special.
Yeah, I mean, he's an attraction, but he's more like a fatal attraction because he kills the audience every time he comes out.
That crowd was hot for him on Monday. and people, there's still an aura of excitement to a Brock match. If
Is it? Is there?
for some, people are absolutely Brock guys, Brock marks, and they love Brock and they love seeing him because he still feels special. Just by the virtue of his contract and schedule, they book him almost like they booked Hogan back in '86, who wasn't on TV all the time, who wasn't around all the time, but he was when he showed up, it meant something. When Brock's there, shit sometimes tends to mean more. And I don't like the fact that he's a absentee champion when he does have the belt, but on some level, so was Hogan, and that worked out for him.
Can we have Brock use the cash in for the 24/7 title?
Please. Someone said Brock should cash in on Bailey,
That works too.
and Bailey should go over.
Yeah, that definitely works. Like just to, I think we're gonna see another men's Money in the Bank failed cash in. I think he's coming on Raw to make his intentions known that he's going to do the pre cash in for Saudi Arabia, and Seth goes over.
I think that's a possibility, but I also can't discount the idea that Brock wins.
Sure, I know, but I'm trying to hold out hope.
I know. So that was your Money in the Bank pay-per-view, guys. I know, sorry it took us all this time to get through it, but at the end of the show, just a little quick, I know we briefly mentioned it. For me, it's about a B minus. Mock's letter grade for Money in the Bank.
Really, really good. Except for the finish. It was an A. I'll go overall B minus because that almost unacceptable what those men put themselves through at the final match and to have that happen. So that takes it down. I want to say 2 grades, but I'll be generous and give it a B minus.
Matt, letter grade for
Oh
Money in the Bank.
God, he's gonna give it an F because Becky lost. You know this.
I think you guys are way too generous. D minus for me.
I was close fucking enough.
Hey, it's still passing in some areas of the country. AA, I know you didn't watch, but just based on the results, do you have a letter grade for Money in the Bank?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, now that you're back, do you want to answer my question of the Brock being back thing?
Everyone knows my feeling on Brock will sneer.
Brock will sneer. We're gonna, before we get into the rest of the week in WWE, I do want to just give everyone a quick update on the GoFundMe for Ashley Massara's daughter, her educational fund. For those who aren't aware, Ashley Massara's former co-workers when she was in WWE and others, going by the Squared Circle Sisters. The GoFundMe was set up by Lillian Garcia, former WWE ring announcer. They have come together to set up a GoFundMe for a educational fund for Ashley's daughter Alexa. And 2 days in, they have a $100,000 goal that will be put into what is it's basically an educational trust in New York State, and in 2 days they have raised over $33,000. So I personally urge everyone to go make a donation if they can. As little as $5 is allowed.
Do not be the fucking jackass that does a $5 donation under somebody else's name and then brag about it on fucking Twitter that you did it for somebody else because you're a fucking dumbass.
And he is not making that up, people. Someone did do that. Someone tried to
I
get.
did it. For The Rock.
Don't
I
don't
do it.
mention don't
For the-
mention any names. Don't. I'm not gonna give that person credit. But somebody did do that. And where's the line for me to start throat punching people? B,
Mhm.
hey, at least that's $5 that went donated. But
Yes.
the way you went about it and what you did is fucked up, and that's all we'll say about that.
I am not a mark. I'm not a big enough mark for somebody, or a big enough. Um, uh, um, uh,
Sir,
You're
the Browns beg to differ.
okay, I'm talking wrestling. Of course, I'm a mark for the Browns. I'm not a big enough mark for somebody, nor do I dislike someone enough to
you're an
try
asshole. You're
Oh,
an
no.
asshole. You're
in
not that.
general.
You're not
Right.
that kind of asshole.
I could
That's a
imagine.
special kind of asshole. That
Yep.
what he did. That took. There's a certain place,
Yeah.
and that's fucked up. But again, optimistic side. At least that's another $5 that went to the charity, and that's all that
Absolutely.
matters.
I also want to shout out people in the business who put their money where their mouth was in this instance, because it's one thing to set up something like this; it's another thing to donate. Mick Foley got the whole thing kicked off for making a $5,000 donation. Other people who have made donations are Candice Michelle, Natty Neidhart, um, Mandy Rose, um,
I think
Billy Kidd.
all three of the squad.
I have not seen, but I do know Ruby Riot waking up, and which we'll get into in a second. But Ruby Riot made an $1,000 donation. Nikki Cross made a donation. Um, list.
Uh,
I keep
I
checking. I see new names.
I want to
Um,
say the Sarah and Eric made a donation just under the Rowans or something like that. But
uh,
I want to say all three of the squad.
um,
Squad.
Mick Foley's two eldest children, Dewey and Noel, made donations. Beth Hardy, Jeff's wife, made a donation. Um, John Hennigan, better known as Johnny Nitro Impact, insert last name here. He made a $500 donation, and I could go on. And I do, and I almost want to, because I want to shout out people who do good work and want to step up in moments like this.
I mean, Billy
I have
always does good work.
what
Billy Kay always
well,
does good work.
Billy Kay made a donation. You're correct.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
under her shoot name, Jessica McKay. Jessica
I'll
McKay.
just yeah. Becky Lynch and Charlotte have both tweeted the link out, but I've not yet seen the donation. But that doesn't matter. They're
And Becky
they're at
always
least
does
trying.
good work as well.
Are you on the
Um,
site where it actually lists like all the donations?
yes, I am.
Um, look,
Um, I think
it wasn't much, but it was something.
I I plan on making a donation myself on behalf of not just myself but of the podcast, um, uh, because I have the um, because I can. Um,
Well, you work for the government. You have all the money, sir.
this is true. At least I know where all the money is anyway. Um,
Yeah, same difference.
exactly. So I just, and there are more, and I will. And I've been just trying to give them their shine, because this is a situation where, this sucks. About for the reason why this is happening sucks. But it just deserves to be mentioned. So we're at 33, over 33,000. We have more to go. Um, there's also a video attached to the GoFundMe, that just the ladies involved just sending a direct message to Ashley's daughter. That's very touching, and if you are easily, if you can get your heartstrings tugged at, it'll do it. Um,
If you're
so
going through the list, I'll just look for more. Look for my son's shoot name, like in full. It should be on there because I did it under his name.
I will. Um,
It wasn't
I wish
again
the
wasn't much, and I will do more. I wasn't sure when it started. I wasn't sure where I was going to be financially coming out of my own son's surgeries and stuff. Um, but
Kevin
I did,
Steen and his wife had made a
yeah.
donation. Um, uh, Lillian, who of course who started this. Um, Unfortunately, Mox, of course shout out to you guys for making a donation. Um, there's no search function; it's just a list.
Oh, okay.
Um, I mentioned Billy Kidman and others.
Oh, Billy Kidman. You mean um? Sorry, watching No Mercy last night was mad. Oh, he looked like Disco
Disco
Inferno.
Inferno.
Yes. And
Being
Morris
on
is the one that pointed that out. Like, Daddy, why does Billy Kidman look like Disco Inferno? You know, after the haircut and the new
Uh huh.
outfit, yeah. Morris like just looked at me like, Daddy, why is
Carrie, someone at least going by the name Carrie Silken made a donation. Um, Taryn Terrell, Kelly, uh, names. David Arquette made a donation.
yes, and that's verified because that was verified through Twitter that he donated.
Um,
Actually, him.
Serena Deeb. Uh, I mean, I could sit here all night and go through the list, and like I said, a part of me wants to because all these people, everyone who donated, should at least be able to. I wish I could shout their names out because uh,
You know the
this
coolest part
is.
though? And I'm not trying to cut you off, but the coolest part is they don't do it to want to be shouted out. They don't do it for recognition. They just do it to be good people.
Yeah, it's. And I just want to say, it's good to see people, especially in the business, put their money where their mouths are in times like this, and step up.
That goes back to the fundraiser show in Pennsylvania.
Yep, for
Eh,
Head Shrinker Sammy, and that stuff being set up by his family. This I've said it then, and I'll say it now. This community, when called upon, does its damnedest to help everybody.
And just like with that, with this, you have the same bullshit. WWE could pay for it all. Like that's not the point. That
Um,
that's sorry to even bring that up again, but you've seen that.
and I have, and I don't disagree with the sentiment, but we're in this position, and it doesn't matter.
It
WWE
doesn't matter.
WWE could easily pay for this. I believe they have a duty to, considering all the situations surrounding this story. But that's another
Yeah,
story for another time.
this
But
is somebody, and this is the community coming together to take care of Ashley's educational future. Um, I don't know how I'm trying to differentiate that because they could do that as well. But this is the community coming together and with the not just Ashley passing, but all the stuff that went with it. Like okay, this because suicide's tragic. Trust me, I was 2 when my dad. Um, so there's this the love and support of for Ashley, but at the same time, we're gonna come together and make sure this girl gets her education and go to college where she wants to go to college, and that's just so heartwarming and so heartfelt.
And there's also the I want to one of the major donators who we mentioned before, Ruby Riot, donated $1,000. And the reason why I want to point this out specifically was due to the context of that donation. It was revealed earlier this week that Ruby Riot had to go in for wow, the liquor's starting to get to
Shoulder,
me. Shoulder surgery.
yeah. Same day Morris went in for his surgeries, and Matt Des Moines pointed out now their surgery. He said surgery bros, but I don't know how that works. But they're surgery soldiers. Same day,
Uh,
same time.
Surgery Squad.
Surgery squad,
squad. Um,
squad.
and Ruby, within minutes, and literally, this is how it broke out. Within minutes of the official announcement that Ruby had surgery, in her Instagram post of her laying in her hospital bed, showing everyone she's okay, she made the donation.
Yeah,
She came out of anesthesia. It seems like.
Parentheses, pulling teeth.
Um, let everyone
Nobody
know
got
she
that
was
reference, it
okay.
seems.
We actually just skimmed right over that, sir. Um,
like I'm okay, and instantly went to helping other people.
put $1,000 down, people. And look, if the rumors are true about what the squad had been making money financially, that's a little bit of money.
Yeah, that's even if you're making some bigger bucks, which in my comparison to me, what they're making are not huge bucks, but bigger bucks. That's a car payment, house payment, mortgage. Is like that's a chunk of change for what you're making. That's something that $1,000 you put away. It's not like for instance, somebody we talked about with how much he's probably making now. $1,000 to Brock Lesnar, he probably wipes his ass with. $1,000 to Ruby Riot is a rent payment, a car payment, something that is a little bit. And am I wrong for thinking that way? Of
No,
uh,
because there is. If Brock donated $1,000, let's play that game. If he did it, yeah, that's a good chunk of money, and I would, it'd be cool to see Brock do it. But also, we all kind of know that Brock saves his money and could probably donate a lot more.
yeah, Brock, and that ties into the WWE could,
Take
uh,
care of this.
but that really ties back into the community,
Hmm.
the brother and sisterhood of professional wrestlers taking care of professional wrestlers,
Yeah.
and sometimes they don't want the companies or the company money stuff. Yeah, I'm sure they gladly accept it, but a lot of times, just like in this instance, you said they were up to 33,000 already.
Hmm.
They don't have to.
Um. So if you ever hear anybody put down Ruby Riot for any reason, please smack a motherfucker.
Well, you should have anyway.
Right. But in a time we live in where we hear so little good news on a day-to-day basis.
And she's
Seeing
coming out of
someone,
shoulder surgery.
and she's
She
going to have
doesn't
another
know.
one. By the way,
Yes,
she's
her
going to
first.
have an.
Yeah,
She's
and
getting the
she's
Sami
already
Zayn
thinking about
special.
other. She's already thinking about other people. Not, oh, woe is me. I'm just got surgery. She within minutes
Of the
thinking of
announcement.
other people. Yeah.
So we all know our heroes, the people we look up to, don't always live up to that status we put them in.
Like the Brown, for instance.
I
Oh,
hate
good
you
grief.
so much. So much. Well, I could say like Becky Lynch since you can't seem to get the job done.
Oh.
Snap.
Nah, that's
And that's
inaccurate. She always lives up to her potential.
But in this
well.
age where I
How many
mean me
belts does she have, sir?
just one, same as everyone
She
else.
should have two, but she got screwed over.
Me and
And
Mox.
that's when going back to the donation and giving back stuff. And I brought this up. I believe it was Tuesday. It might have been last week. Um, Rocky Mountain Pro is so great about giving back to the community, like as a whole.
Mhm.
Mercury Matt Yaden is um, so focused on not just his academy and his wrestling promotion. He wants to make a change in the world, and he's even said as much of like it just takes one person to help another person, and that it's just awesome to see, which makes me so more frustrated when you get the jackasses that want to be jackasses.
Like tonight, someone made a fake screenshot of Sasha's shoot name and made it look like she took $1,000 from the GoFundMe.
Don't give those people airtime.
I'm not going. They're going to get airtime. I'm not going to say their name, but they're going to get airtime. Find something else to do with your pathetic life. I'm sick and tired of fucking douchebags like this who think they get to have the run of the internet and do shit for clicks and attention because apparently they don't get it at home.
Well,
Please
and
lick those dirt off the bottom of my shoe, you scumbags. I don't have time for you. I'm disappointed that I have to share oxygen with you. You
but
Yeah,
you're giving
actively
them time.
you actively make the world worse, and I hate you for it. Yes, Mox?
But you gave them time.
I, I have to say it. Like, if great, you got 45 seconds of my life, and that's all you're gonna get. Um, but we're all music fans, and
Music? I've never heard of music.
stop it. And me and Mox are sports fans.
Sports? What the fuck are sports?
You are disappointing me on every level. Um, we
I'm trying to
know,
pull a Matt time turned up to 11.
I know, uh, and we know how it is with athletes and singers and actors who tend to disappoint more than they tend to inspire.
So you would know the disappointment a lot more than I.
I didn't know athletes had three syllables. That's amazing.
And good night, everybody.
I
Matt,
hope somebody got that
he's trying.
reference.
Yes, he's trying, Matt. He's trying.
No, oh,
Or should I say, he is trying.
try. Yep. Uh,
But yeah,
I,
your overall point before you get to the and that's what I was saying about when this conversation came up about the donations. Fucking people are the fucking worst, and
Hmm.
you have to. That's why I feel so privileged, honored, and thankful every day that I've found people like all three of you, and there's many more I can name that aren't like that, or you can't shelter yourself from it because you're gonna see it. But I try to keep my bubble to a bubble of not such fuckery or dickery or dot. Ticker, anybody, anybody,
Bueller, Bueller.
dealer. Um, and I'm very thick skinned. I've had to been my whole life, but I man, I don't know, and we're still giving them too much airtime than they deserve.
Hmm.
What gets these people off on doing this kind of stuff? There's trolling, and then there's
Actively trying to hurt people,
yeah,
and that's
and
what that is. Uh,
wh-
Whatever your feelings about a certain worker is, it shouldn't extend to actively trying to hurt them or their reputation in an online environment where shit
I just
spreads
want to
like
ask people that
wildfire.
do that, like, who hurt you?
Exactly. So let
And
me.
I've spoken out before on the forum that we
Mhm.
visit every day, and on Twitter. I've reached out like, hey man, if you need to talk, like, and you Adam, you've seen this. I almost called you your shoe name. Hey, you've seen this. Matt, you may have seen this a couple of times. Like I've given my email address, my re- talk to me. Like what is going on in your life that makes you like I will be here. Like if you need
Yeah.
somebody to talk to, if you need a relief, like I'm here. And
So yeah, I mean, reach out. Because it's
yeah,
reach out because I'd rather you talk than to be an asshole. Because I can't. Because if you're going to be an asshole, someone needs to talk you off that ledge. But let me say some. And like she's going to hear it. But to Dory Prong, uh, Ruby Riot's shoot name. Ruby, thank you, and to everyone else on that list, thank you for showing who you are.
well now I'm gonna have to go inside and watch Finding Dory.
Yeah, spelled differently, but yeah.
I know. I was trying to
Yeah.
break the tension.
Thank you for really being a superstar. And if I hear any more slander of Ruby Riot, there will be hell to pay. I promise you.
And
But
he's from Ohio, folks. He's not fucking playing.
no, I don't. I don't fuck with this shit. I'll go hard. Let's. All right. But let's get to the rest of the world of wrestling. Because we should. Um, and Mox, would you please wake up, Allie?
Hey, hey, you put her to sleep again.
That's three
Did
times.
CM Punk like come back and just CM Punk and Odell Tommy are definitely like okay, we're getting the preview of what's gonna happen tomorrow in AEW. Um, a lot of go to sleeps. AA. I can't call her while I'm on a podcast, but I will text her. AA. What the hell is Todd talking about?
I have no idea. I actually tuned them out.
I try, but every once in a while, some.
Well, you know what? Let's. I'd rather tackle Raw and SmackDown as a giant blob than as individual shows, because reasons. Hey, I heard the text.
Got her. Got her. Got her.
You have to entertain yourself, people. Um, Ron's
As soon as I sent it, she
So
showed back up.
Raw and SmackDown this week were
A blur.
fine. A blur though, yeah.
they were a blur, you know. Woohoo!
So we're not doing the Twitter song.
There's
um,
song.
Hey,
What?
do you know where you are?
Yeah,
Where? Oh, where are you?
I'm
Who
home.
are you? Who are you talking to?
You guys.
My go-to answer.
I mean, it is. I mean, it was a blur to say the least.
They
You know,
Matt, you said something today or the other day, and I want you to expound upon it because you're not the first person that I heard say it.
You're gonna put AA right back to sleep. I can only wake her up so many times.
But Matt, you said that I believe it was you who said that the brand split is dead.
it pretty much is, really. And it was
And
never a good idea to begin with.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but
Well, I'm talking
they,
about like the second iteration. To me, it just felt like a crutch that they leaned on. It's like, well, we have ideas. What else should we do? Oh, the brand split. Let's do that again.
I sent you a crazy face picture of Morris when he was coming home, AA, and me getting him out of the vehicle. So that might keep you up for another 10 minutes or so.
uh, have Allie, since I do want to come to you here, because even though I know you've pretty much taken a hiatus from WWE television, the brand split has it outlived its usefulness?
Yes, it's the, they really screwed it up with the wild card here.
Uh,
It's 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 just a mess.
Yeah, I understand things will get more rigid when we get to Fox, and then they'll be kind of separate at that point in time because Fox doesn't want to promote one, and but Vince still has a company around, so I don't know how he um, deals with it. But if you're not going to treat it, the brand split, if used properly, is really a fantastic idea.
Absolutely.
I guess.
If they treated it.
Even without the brand split, let's start with moving SmackDown. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Moving SmackDown to a live Tuesday show where it's not a Raw recap like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a big step. And then kind of digressing back.
They've walked it back to where. Do you remember when they were doing Super SmackDowns and Super Raws, Super shows?
Super shows.
And then it was like, well, what the hell is the brand split for? And
I think this is them trying to get a footing before they actually do split networks.
I think the brand split would be fantastic if they
It has to
treated
be
it.
a brand split.
If they treated it like the WWE or the NFL, and the Raw and SmackDown were franchises.
Now, wait. When you bring up the NFL, are we including the Browns as a
Yes, we are
franchise?
including the Browns.
I had to get there
Yes.
before Matt. I had to get there before Matt. Are they a legitimate franchise?
Sure, as legitimate as the Titans.
Sir, that doesn't really hurt me because fuck the Titans.
I mean, they don't allow they don't allow second rate organizations like the Oilers around. I mean,
You some bitch.
why they even go back to Houston anyway? Dallas was all Texas needed.
You some bitch. Hey, fire him. Fire him now.
Nope.
uh, I'm sure you. I mean, Jerry Jones was doing just fine. Okay, I can't even take that seriously. Um, because
Speaking, just real quick, and this is gonna be like a for the class. I'm like Rice said. He and I are big sports fans, and we already know the data. Ooh, for those that don't know, including both of you guys and our listeners, Google how much Jerry Jones bought the Dallas Cowboys for in 1988,
mhm.
and Google how much they are worth now.
Talk about return on investment.
You fucking think?
Hell, go look at. I'm not kidding. Go look at what Jimmy Haslam paid for the Browns and what they're
Well,
worth now.
well,
It's not the same, but
it's not close to being the same, but it's the market.
and the reason. But I kind of want to get back to this analogy because I think if they looked at it this way, the brand split would be great. Have Raw and SmackDown be run. I hate the general manager concept. I want to put
What
that out there.
that is obsolete. Delete, delete, delete,
But
delete.
if they
I think it's fine.
but if they treated the general managers like actual general managers you see in sports, I think it would have a totally different feel on the product.
Absolutely.
And also bring back the commissioner. Can we get rid of the McMahons and
Well,
have a commissioner?
they
No,
did that.
Commissioner Page.
but no, I'm talking about like a central figure that lays out the rules to the two general managers, and then the general managers
Exactly.
run their franchises. There's Raw and SmackDown, like you would see a general manager or a president of football, baseball, basketball, hockey operations run their
And,
club.
and bring back not just the title, and this is going to be a big ask because you're not going to find somebody like him. The closest might be Regal, maybe. Bring back a Jack Tunney.
Yeah, even though Tony was totally useless. Tony was
He
there in name only.
he was, but when they did the brand split and commissioner and general manager, of course, it had to involve Shane and Steph.
Well, with that and the fact that he gambled a lot, but that's beside the point.
Sir,
I would it bring back the commissioner, make it serious. Foley was great as commissioner.
bring back commissioner that's not McMahon.
Right. Put someone in that role who could do it and bring credibility to it. And I don't know who that person is. I don't know who they'd want who'd be willing to do that kind of traveling
Well,
again.
what exactly is the position that we're talking about here?
I'm talking about the on-screen authority figure being the commissioner, not the McMahons. McMahons get to go home and do McMahon things, whatever that is.
William Regal William Regal can fit one role.
Well, if we're talking about commissioners, I think it's time that we
Jesus
make these
fuck.
commissioner positions simply iconic.
No, sir. And you know why? Because it would be totally detrimental to the idea I'm trying to bring forth here. I want someone in the role who can be serious and
William Regal.
I
Are
like
you saying the iconics aren't serious?
No.
no.
Who else?
They are the tag team champions, sir. They ended an undefeated streak. If that's not serious, I don't
We
know
are
what.
2
Hey,
hours into the show, and that's
hey,
the first time he brought it up.
do you see where I'm going with the William Regal? Like serious, um, no BS, not McMahon name. William Regal can be won instantaneously. Who could be the second? And we're not talking about like who goes to Raw, who goes.
No, and also I'm not talking about a commissioner for each show.
Oh,
I'm
there's one
I'm
overall.
talking one overall commissioner, like Roger Goodell sets the
Fucking William Regal.
one person. Regal,
Wait,
uh, um, they have plenty of agents. My God, it just hit me. JE
no, you get the fuck out. Get your worst,
JARRET.
sir. Get your worse than that. You're
Slapnuts himself, Jeff
no.
Jarrett. Someone who would be immediately recognizable in that role. You know who I would love to see maybe in something like role this, just because of the gravitas he has, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind the traveling. It would be very little work, but because he's such an on-screen presence, and he's probably easy to get a hold of. How about Nash?
No, please, dear God, no.
He can talk. He could look the part.
He can't make it to the entrance without quad problems.
He wouldn't have to work.
And he
He's
is one of the greatest minds in the business. Don't get me wrong, but
or maybe even if he's 100% healthy, a guy like Scott Hall, someone who brings
yeah,
gravitas to that idea. And then what you have them do is be the Goodell, the Rod Manfred of the entire program. And then he names his the two general managers, and then they set the show up to where it's almost like their sports clubs.
and I know saying William Ringle and what I'm about to say kind of contradicts each other, but um, don't bring those guys back for a role like that. William Regal is perfect for the overseeing role.
The thing with Regal is, I don't know if he wants to leave Florida.
Well, that's a problem. But if we're just fantasy booking this kind of stuff,
Yeah,
which I don't,
Regal would probably be my first choice because of his immediacy to the product. But someone who can just look the part is what I'm looking for. Look the part and can talk, and fans would recognize. And then you do the same thing with the general
and you
manager's
pick
position.
Nash and Hall.
You don't think people wouldn't still recognize Nat? I mean, good God, it's hard to forget.
Well, and it's also on the other hand, people don't really, people might not really recognize Hall like
And
uh,
Hall is also another guy whose mind for the business is great when he's.
yeah, it was.
I think it still is. They still ask him to come back to do guest spots every now and then. It just was with Scott. There's always the ancillary stuff.
Fucking have like Bruce Pritchard or Stone Cold.
Steve won't do it because I don't think Steve wants the hassle.
I know. We're just shooting out names here of
Right, I
who
know.
could.
But basically, those are the criteria I see in a central commissioner, and then 2 general managers for each show. And what I would have them do, no more superstar shakeups. Sorry, that's stupid.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. It's done the opposite of what it should have done.
you have the draft. You get
Or
everyone together.
here's a grand idea. Here, excuse me. Here's a grand idea. And hear me out when I say this because I know you're probably falling off your seat as it is.
Oh yeah, totally.
Triple H.
Here's the thing about Hunter. He's
No,
McMahon adjacent.
no. I didn't say Hunter. Triple H.
There's no difference.
There is.
Not one that he wants to delineate.
NXT Paul Levesque. Triple H.
Again,
But
that
it's going to be a fine line that you have to work. And that means like if he took that role, like there's no more in-ring competition, and you don't insert yourself in storylines anymore. Like he would have to literally be this role and this role only. But Triple H would be fantastic in that scenario.
and as far as the
Go ahead.
as far as the general manager positions go, again, someone you recognize, but also someone who you want them to be able to play off each other as competitors and play off of the commissioner. And of course, be able to interact with the wrestlers. So maybe a guy like Edge would want to come back for a role like that, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then when you come to the draft,
I mean,
have the
Paige
draft.
had her chance, and she just handed title shots to fucking anybody that came through the door. So
I think Paige would be, if they brought Paige back in this scenario as a general manager, I would love it.
I would too. I had it through. I
I
don't
know
even
you had to
think he
dig,
listens, but yeah.
dig Craig. And then when you have the draft come around, the draft comes around once a year, just like it always does.
Do an
And
actual.
and do you guys know what they're doing on the network this weekend? A combine.
Yeah.
They're doing a combine this weekend. It's have it play into a draft.
Okay. Oh, look.
Have the 2 general managers and their staffs, whoever they are, like make something up, or just them, go down to Florida and film them watching the next prospects train and do workouts. Do what the NFL does and has turned into a billion-dollar thing.
And if you guys don't know, or have never watched, the combine, like it's a big thing. If you guys didn't watch the NFL draft in Nashville, Tennessee, of all effing places this year, it's a 3-day event. They literally shut Nashville down because of
And
all the people.
and oh no.
What? Who's snoring?
I thought
Antelope doesn't snore.
Ah.
but
But okay,
and
I'm going
the
to ask you
combine.
a different question. I'm going to sidetrack,
Yeah.
not too much, but just a little. Let's do overall commissioner, which basically replaces Vince as on screen. I say what
Authority.
go. Yeah, and then 2 general managers for Raw and SmackDown. Replace them. Who would you replace? Wrestlers or wrestling figures with 3 actual sports people or 3 people in general beyond the 4 of us, which I mean we do a better job,
Of
um,
course.
but not sticking just to they've been in wrestling, the history of them, and just 3 people that one is the head and 2 are the like the NFC AFC.
um.
Tough question, I know.
So it doesn't have to be someone in wrestling, but someone in those roles.
They don't even have to be in those roles per se. Just somebody you think would work as commissioner that oversees both products, and 2 one each of those individual
See,
products.
if it were me, and if I had the ability to place someone in that position, uh, gee,
And this is fantasy booking stuff that we don't like diving into, but I thought it'd be an important, not important, but a fun question to ask.
to me, if it were me, I'd put in a phone call to a list of guys or ladies to come in and be like, "Hey, we need you for a full time role, yeah, but no working, none of that stuff, and you'll just get to, and you'll be the authority figure. Do you want to do it?" A great name that just popped in my head was Trish Stratus as commissioner, and
Mm.
If that happened, would you be stratified?
sir, because I think it would be a great way to show just another way just to have put a spotlight on a female talent. And Trish, my God, best ever. Um, and the two.
Iconic.
Sir, she's no Sable, sir. She's no
Why
Sable.
do you insist on provoking me?
Because it's what I do.
Um, and then the 2 general manager roles would probably be Paige and oh, the other one's
You're
tough.
sticking to wrestling.
I know, but because to come out of it and be in those roles, it'd be so hard because of what it's
That's what
as.
she said.
Stop.
I
But
didn't go before Matt.
if you want to make me go outside of wrestling, I could see someone like a Michelle Beadle as a general manager, or David Arquette as a general manager. It'd have to be people who know about what they're going into. And I know that you said fantasy book this, but I can't separate what the job will need instead of you know.
She's snoring again. Oh, this time
It's bad.
yeah.
We
But
have talked her to
here's
sleep,
my thing.
everybody.
We talked. I'm almost out just from. You won't shut the fuck up. Like make and I'm when my question was like to get like extremely out of the wrestling room. Like make Billy Bean the commissioner.
Oh, that'd
For
be
those that
hysterical.
don't know, Billy Bean is I'm sure some people might not get the reference of Billy Bean, but you might have seen the movie Moneyball. Make Billy Bean the commissioner. Oh yeah, she is out. I will. Yeah. That's where I was going with that question. Was just something that would never, ever, ever happen. But
So, yeah, Billy Bean would be fantastic. Or um, oh, let's. Oh,
oh, okay. Can I retract my Billy Bean as commissioner? Just make him general manager because he worked better as a general manager.
yeah, Will Ferrell as commissioner.
There, all all hell's gonna break loose.
It'd be fun.
And fuck it, while you're at it, make
John
Riley
John C. Riley
Johnson.
is one of the
Yes,
GMs.
did we just become best friends?
Yes, we did. Do you want to do bunk bed? Do you want to go do karate in the garage? Um, it, but and I don't think we're going to get to Raw and SmackDown tonight, everyone.
Shake
So if you
and bake.
tuned in for actual reviews, we've gone off that rail now. Um,
There are no rules.
exactly.
But Billy being as commissioner, John C. Riley running one show.
Will Ferrell
Well,
running the other.
yeah, that's just print the money.
But and when you come to something like a draft, what's missing are stakes and actual competition. And I think if you wanted to maintain the brand split, you have to do something so drastic with it that would make people go, "Hey, this is different," and I want to tune in. What made the initial brand split work was because it did feel like Raw and SmackDown were in competition, and it
You
also
you could also add like Dolan as
which ones? James or his cousins?
James. Make him think he's commissioner and general manager, and
Watch everyone running out of the building, fleeing in terror.
yeah,
Um,
and he just shows up with his guitar and his band, and like I thought I was
oh,
here to play a
oh God,
concert.
God no, God no. But
Nobody gets what we're talking about except
right.
for
These are the things they could do to make the
who
show more
drank all the
interesting.
Fireball.
There's still some over there. I might go chug it. Matt, I know you've been sitting here listening to this, and I know you're a skeptic on on the brand split. But oh God, he's on a roll now. My Todd. Um, but Matt,
I love. For those that don't know, I have renamed. If you can hear him in the background, that's Adam's brother.
yeah,
And his
Todd.
name's not Todd, but I have renamed him Todd, and now even Adam calls
Yeah.
his brother Todd.
But Matt,
And
what I,
I'm not influential or anything.
no, not at all. I know you're against the brand split, Matt, because at some points of it does feel antiquated. So, what should they do in lieu of the brand split to make things more compelling on television?
If there
Just
was
go
no
back
brand
to what
split,
things
there would
were.
be no Becky Two Belts. Just saying.
Would there? Would there?
No, there wouldn't be.
I don't know about that.
They wouldn't have needed to break up the women's championships if never mind. Um,
Technically, they didn't break them up. The Divas Championship is the Raw Women's Championship.
correct.
The SmackDown is a whole new belt.
Yep, that is correct.
Because I saw this yesterday in the daily of well now the Divas Championship is the Raw. No, it's not. The Raw Women's Champion. If you look at lineage, the Raw Women's Championship is the former Divas Championship.
Uh,
The
Matt,
SmackDown Women's Championship is a different belt.
Matt, are they capable of going back to the way things were, just the singular roster?
I think so. They're doing it right now.
Um, this wild card rule isn't a band aid. It's throwing gasoline on a fire. Um, this wild card. Let's. We're not going to cover Raw and SmackDown this evening, simply because I think
No.
we've just talked ourselves out of it. And but we do need to bring up one thing. And I think everyone knows what I'm about to bring up.
No.
The Browns losing streak.
Shut up, there is no losing streak.
They haven't even got a training camp, dude. Good grief.
And they can even lose the training camp. That's
They
just
can.
how
I've
bad they
seen it
are.
happen. I've seen it happen.
Well, that's
They. What was I getting ready to ask? Shit. This past week on Raw, they brought out Mick Foley to introduce a new championship. And a lot of people were thinking there would be a Legends title, the reinvigoration of the Hardcore title. Mox kind of nailed saying it would be a little bit of both.
and I even called the color of the fucking belt as green.
Because
I
apparently they need to reuse the GRR belt.
I said it's gonna look like the GRR belt, the Greatest Royal Rumble that Braun won, that little green belt. Now that said, it's gonna be a combination of 24/7. It's gonna be a combination of Legends and 24/7. And as far as I know, I'm the only one that reported that. So
Good for you.
scoops, motherfuckers, scoops.
Good for you. Um,
You son
Mick
of a bitch, you no
Mick
selling motherfucker.
Mick Foley introduced a 24/7 championship. The belt will be defended 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, like the old hardcore title, um, but without the hardcore stuff. And
Morse
ac-
is coming for you, Truth.
according to the reports, this was a request made by USA. They gave Vince a list of ideas of things to bring up the third hour ratings, and according to the report, this was the only good idea of the bunch. And not that Vince loved the idea, just that Vince thought it was the only idea that didn't absolutely suck.
And that brings up so many questions. If there was a table of ideas and Vince is like, this one doesn't suck so bad. What were the other fucking options?
Right. Um. So this is what they decided to do. They're also seemingly going to go for a more edgier third hour, which is honestly something I think they should have done for years. Because you're not playing to kids at 10 o'clock at night on a Monday.
No.
Oh, my
Hey,
my text always works.
so
Let's wrap
Allie,
this up because poor Allie. Yeah, let's.
yeah, we've talked poor Allie into death, but I do want to get um, Allie in on this final segment. 24/7 championship, third hour, edgier third hour on Raw. Are these good ideas, bad ideas, or somewhere in the middle?
I think that would be a good idea.
I mean, we can always just get rid of the third hour altogether, but
She wakes
But
up like she's just been
she had a
listening
pot of
the whole.
coffee and she's ready to go.
I don't drink that stuff. That's the devil's brew.
Oh
Oh
Lord,
no, I've been drinking that.
It
that
stunts your growth.
It
I
makes
mean,
me
I
happy.
like the idea of the 24/7 title. I like that it gives the lower card guys something to do, but I hate the belt itself. I hate the name of the belt.
Oh, the belt's god awful.
It's so ugly.
but does that
It, it looks
really?
even
How
worse than the
distracting?
Universal title.
How much does that take away from the idea, though?
Yeah, but I mean, they just should have brought back the hardcore title because that's pretty much what it is.
The hardcore title looked horrible.
But
The
that was kind
hardcore,
of the point, though.
the point that people forget about the hardcore title is it was meant to be a kayfabe rib on the main mankind character.
Yeah,
Yes,
And once the mankind character got away from the belt, because eventually what happened was Mick got too over to have that belt all the time.
I.
So
Let's go and spoil what happened on Raw. Mick won the WWF Championship from The Rock in the main event. That'll put some butts in the seat. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks, Tony Schiavone.
but but when once Mick became the star he became, the hardcore title effectively lost its meaning and just became a comedy title. So it
I, I don't get and Matt, I'm not really trying to call you out here, but um, because your sentiment is not just you, but a lot of people. It's such an ugly title. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, it's been fun. Just like when the
um
cruiserweight title came out. Like, oh, I can't believe they did purple. Just like when the Universal Championship came out and that match got booed just because the belt was red. Like, I don't.
it I could care less what the belt like in this case looks like, because in this case I don't expect a lot of seriousness to be attached.
Our Truth is the best one to hold it. Just,
Our
that's
truth. This is
perfect.
perfect for truth because it suits Truth's wackiness.
That and the
Um,
fact he's constantly on Twitter, he thinks he has the European
European
title.
championship. That's great. Um, so
That and if
I'm fine with them not bringing back the hardcore title, because the hardcore title was a MacGuffin. It was just a plot device in the story between Vince and Mick that
yeah,
eventually became meaningless and just became another belt. Tommy Dreamer is a 16-time or like 20-time hardcore champion. It
yeah.
means nothing. It meant nothing. So
Referees were hardcore champions.
Jerry Briscoe pinned
Yes.
Pat Patterson in
In
his
his sleep,
to win the belt.
and
In the
made
WWE,
sure
the
that.
first ever hardcore evening gown match.
Yeah.
I
Oh
didn't know
God.
you did not need to bring that up.
And made sure if you guys remember the segment because the ref was gonna count, and Jerry looked and said, "Shh, do it quietly." Where the ref didn't even slap, like he just did his hand without touching the backstage. It's
It
one,
was,
two, three.
but that belt was solely a comedy belt. This belt is solely a lower to mid card comedy belt. When Kathy Kelly is walking around backstage with a
Yes,
referee looking for Archer, you know this is going to be fun on some level.
yes,
This show is sorely in need of fun
and
because it's a chore more often than not.
Well,
and
you
I
know
don't.
who's fun?
Oh
Oh,
God,
The
go, Matt.
Iconics.
you're killing me, Matt. You're
You're
killing me.
killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
Are they
And
not fun? Are they not fun?
there's something.
But are they
There,
not fun?
half of them.
I mean, and I don't expect the Iconics this to be for something that they're involved in while they're tag champs, although I guess they could be. This would be an amazing way to get Liv Morgan on television.
Seriously. And
Jeez,
apparently, this is open to men, women.
children, dogs, cats.
Are you saying Zeb has a chance of winning the 24? I
Chris,
just had to do it. I had to do it.
Chris Zev has a chance of winning. Who could turn down that sweet little boy? Um,
Sir, that sounded a little perverse.
Look, it's late and I have alcohol in me. Wow, that even made it sound worse. Uh,
Yeah, that's like
oh, it's fine. I'm not Catholic.
well, I'm when Morris came out of his surgery, like I'm made of. I added Ron Killings, our truth. Like, watch out, man, because he's coming.
So
I bet I'd get a like or a retweet from him, but
nothing. Well, he's busy having to watch his back. Um, So this will be fun for a little while. I don't think this belt's going to be around forever. But this will be fun, and let's not hate fun.
Yeah, it serves its purpose. Isn't that what we said an hour ago? Like fun. Where's the fun in wrestling? Here's some fun, and people instantly shit on it. It's fun.
Well, it's just the Jobber Championship, and what was the hardcore title?
The same fucking thing, but people have this in their mind of that
This is
era is so much better than this
Mm,
current era
yep.
that they can't see through those goggles of WWE sucks. It used to be good, but it sucks. Like no, the hardcore title sucked back then.
Yep.
Like it was fun, but it was the same.
It was an excuse for WWE to do what ECW was doing.
Yes.
And who ended up winning that hardcore title after 2000? A lot. Dreamer, Raven, Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, even though he wasn't an ECW guy, Taz, Spike Dudley. ECW guys were winning that championship a lot.
Yeah, there
So,
was a calendar year when the hardcore title was actually quote unquote hardcore. It wasn't just Jerry Briscoe pinning Pat Patterson in the locker room with
right.
why he's like there was a good calendar year of like some good matches that involved the hardcore title. I'd say matches, but you know what I mean.
It was fine for what it was at the time, but let's not act like the hardcore title was something special. It wasn't.
Yeah,
Let's stop holding it up in the same category as the Intercontinental Championship. It's not. Stop.
never will be.
This is the same for the 24/7 title, and now we're just having a circular conversation. Um,
So
uh,
do I.
yeah, we're good at that.
Drink some more.
Oh, I might. I probably will. Guys, we've gone long without really covering anything. We just ended up shooting the breeze more than anything. Sorry, Taker. I'm sorry
I
for
was
the
about to say that's gimmick infringement.
gimmick infringement. Sorry, Taker. Um, and MDS. So to the rest of my
Where can they
esteemed,
find you, AA?
yes,
You can find me on Twitter at Lady Rashana. You can find me on Twitch at Violent Wrestling Podcast, no G.
Where can they find you? Who do I
Matt.
pick? Who do I pick? Who do I
Just
pick?
pick
Matt.
Matt. Matt.
Matt?
Yeah.
Where can
Where
they
can the
find you?
people find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Belmont15, also on KLC, second the daily and the nightly. And last night, me and Mox did an episode on No Mercy 2004 for Ruthless Aggression Era podcast. I invited Adam, but he claimed that the link he had didn't work.
Listen, you
I'm
keep
Again.
sending
skeptical.
me. You keep sending me the same link that's broken. It's not my fault.
I'm
Okay,
starting to think
Snitsky.
that they actually do work. You just don't want to talk about No Mercy 2004.
Which I don't blame him, and I still am reconsidering our friendship after me not only reviewing but actually watching it before like that show with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but it
wasn't
didn't have
great.
the bunny.
No, it did not have the
Wow.
bunny.
The bunny was pretty great.
That was Vengeance 2003.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I only,
next Friday should be Taboo Tuesday 2004 / SmackDown versus Raw. Definitely want to have Angel on there. Maybe I'll get Mox on there. Maybe Adam will get on there if he ever clicks the link.
I clicked, sir. It's not my
I'm
fault you can't get this shit to work.
I'm just half surprised that I get a halfway decent show and stuff to talk about. Cause holy hell,
What are you trying to say, sir?
No Mercy 2004 was shit. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And thank God your link didn't work. That's what I'd be saying if I was you. Like, oh,
Uh,
sorry. Yeah. Where can they find you, Rice?
you'll find me at
Besides
PW. Sorry.
Cleveland Brown Stadium.
Not this year. Well, maybe this year. We'll see what happens. You can find me at PWFan01 on the Twitter machine and at Cage Side Seats in the daily and in the nightly. And listen, guys, I know we had a plan tonight, but as Dave Meltzer likes to say, plans change.
Um,
So thanks
Plan
again for
change.
listening to us ramble and rant and rave. It's generally what we like to do. We'll get our shit together next week,
Sure.
maybe. But in the meantime, thank you for listening. And Miss Allie, would you please take us home?
Good night, everybody.
Look who awoke.